This is Reality Jukebox. Hi everybody, welcome back to realityjukebox.com.
Hello and welcome.
Hi there.
We're talking about the day rock and roll changed the world.
The day the earth rocked.
Daily Earth rocked. Live Aid 1985.
And we're coming up for the 40th anniversary, so we think it's well worth talking about.
Most fitting.
Indeed. Definitely worth talking about. No rucksacks, no tents,
No.
no festivals, just the one day.
One day and a few Concords. The Global Jukebox, as it was branded.
It was. I still have the T-shirt.
Do you?
Yeah, I've still got it.
Nice.
Yeah.
A bit of memorabilia
And
there.
all the other memorabilia from that day, I still have it.
So this was kind of a follow-up, I suppose, to Band-Aid. And I think, didn't the story come about that Geldof went over to Ethiopia to go and see how the funds are being distributed, and he thought that if the Band-Aid Trust had its own truck fleet, they could probably be more effective with how the money gets distributed.
I didn't know about that, but I can absolutely believe
that's
that.
kind of what I read. So in the same vein of gathering up all the artists for Band-Aid, I guess they thought let's put on this global concert. Interestingly, the whole thing was put together in just 10 weeks, which is crazy when you think about the sort of how many people were involved and what was involved.
Well, some of you that may watch the new revamped documentary that's going to be BBC are going to be airing. The story about the press conference with Bob Geldof, Harvey Goldsmith, or Sir Harvey Goldsmith, and John Kennedy, the lawyer, who was at what is now Universal, when the three of them sat in the press conference, the revelation that came out after that, which Harvey Goldsmith mentioned, was absolutely true. When they turned up for the press conference, Harvey hadn't been briefed about anything.
No.
So Bob Geldof started talking to the press, and they said it was, and they used it in Wayne's World too.
Yes, exactly. What I'm thinking
Who's going to be appearing?
Yeah.
So Bob Geldof started ranting all these names. Bowie's going to be there, Queen's going to be there,
Yeah.
Elton John's going to do it, McCartney's definitely going to do it, or whatever. They hadn't asked anybody about it at all.
Very Wayne's World, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah, but the band's Wayne and they will come along.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And Harvey Goldsmith, which I'm sure he'll be talking about in the documentary, and there's old footage of him talking about it, couldn't believe that he was saying this because they hadn't spoken to anyone, and he wasn't even sure if there was going to be a gig or not, let alone being able to get Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, Harvey Goldsmith and Bill Graham, sort of two. Again, I know there's been a lot of controversy about Bill Graham in recent years, but between the pair of them, the logistics of organising this is totally and utterly insane. So, for context, this is 1985. There's no internet, and they're putting on a concert in two cities simultaneously. Yeah, in Wembley in London and JFK Stadium in Philadelphia.
Yep.
That's absolutely I think they used 13 military satellites for this to be broadcast and for this to be transmitted. Absolutely, it's a real feat.
And it was broadcast live all over the world, excluding, I think it was Iran, China, Russia and North Korea.
Yeah, and it featured 16 hours of live music. And bear in mind, there was no internet, and at the time, it was watched by over 1.5 billion people.
Well, what happened was, with the Philadelphia gig, that didn't start till 5 o'clock GMT UK time. Yeah. So what would happen before then with the acts that were on in the morning and the afternoon at Wembley was they had a revolving stage.
Yes, two sides to it, right?
People were only allowed to do a 20-minute set.
Yeah.
And the UK acts were really well behaved, a little bit like the Band-Aid record. Mm-hmm. They knew that they would only have 20 minutes, and that was it. And then they were off. No encores, nothing.
No.
And the lineup was all done beforehand, and there was no arguments. There wasn't anything.
The lineup was all established, right? There was no griping. I think, just mentioned at the beginning now, they managed to raise over 110 million. Which, back in 85 is ridiculous money.
That's billions now.
Yeah, 110 million from this one event. That's. And
the only way you could pay, really, was you could either get a postal order, which you got from a post office. I don't even know if they still exist now.
Yeah.
Or you could pay by credit card, by phone.
Yeah. phone in.
Yeah, that was it.
Old school.
That was it.
Yeah, and in terms of tickets on the day, from what I read, tickets cost £5 with a £20 charity donation added on.
Yep.
So I don't know what that works. That's £25 in terms of back in '85. I don't know what that kind of equates to now.
Probably about 180 quid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean that's quite a lot to be fair for a ticket.
Yeah, it's not like Glastonbury.
Yeah.
You know, or going to see one of the live events at Hyde Park.
Yeah.
You know, in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably equivalent.
Yeah, massive. To be fair, a who's who on the lineup, a who's who of what was going on in the world.
But the acts did it for nothing.
Yeah. All
And
donated free.
it was interesting on the day to see who was really good and who wasn't.
Yeah.
That was the
Well, so yeah, for the bands that kind of reformed, so to speak, or whatever happened, there was a lot, wasn't there? There's a lot going on, I suppose, and there's plenty to tuck into on that front. I guess we should talk about then, in a similar vein to that, Phil Collins, Mr. Live Aid potentially, very, very extra. So Phil Collins performed in London during the day.
he did.
Got on a Concorde, flew to New York, and then went to Philadelphia and performed in the Philadelphia segment.
Led Zeppelin.
He played with Led Zeppelin as well.
And Eric Clapton.
Yeah, and people could argue that he could have just donated the money that he spent on the flights to Live Aid, but fair play. It was kind of an 80s. Excess was quite a big thing. It's quite a monumental feat to do that, but then there's been some choice words said by the remaining members of Led Zeppelin afterwards. So the performance in their eyes tanked, and they haven't officially let it be released because in their eyes it was that bad. I've seen it's on YouTube, but the official release was blocked by them because they were under rehearsed. I think Jimmy Page's guitar was out of tune, so they were all kind of singing a bit off key, and I think Robert Page blamed Phil Collins for a lot of it as well. Didn't he? Criticised his playing, even though I think Collins played on his album in the past. He said he wasn't very happy with how he played things. I think it was all very quickly thrown together, and there was not much rehearsal time, and it resulted in not a very good performance, basically.
Well, the Philadelphia gig, because I think it had twice as many people.
Yeah.
It's about 200,000. It wasn't as polished as the Wembley Stadium gig.
No.
The Wembley Stadium gig looked like it had been rehearsed for weeks.
Yeah.
In certain parts.
Well, there were certain parts, but in other, there was some tech issues, right? Didn't know who have issues the first 2 minutes of their set. You couldn't hear the microphone.
Well, allegedly they had a fight before they went on.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I'm not going to say. I'm very careful
What
I
you
say
just
about that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were still good.
Yeah.
They were still really good. That was
Yeah.
the thing. Because in the actual stadium, you could hear everything.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
You could hear everything. They were really good.
Yeah.
And they got quite a late billing. They came on. They came on after Queen and David Bowie.
Oh really?
Yeah.
They were up on the bill.
Yeah.
Then.
In fact, I think David Bowie may well. It was Queen came on about 6 o'clock. They came on after U2, I think, and then Dire Straits came on.
Yeah.
Who were only listed as doing 2 songs, which lasted 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it was Bowie, who was one of the underrated people of the day.
Yeah.
He really went for it. And then it was The Who.
Yeah.
And then all the guests started coming on,
Yeah.
singing with each other, Elton John, George Michael,
Yeah,
that kind of
the
thing went
double
on.
ups.
Yeah.
It's quite funny though. Like you had Black Sabbath playing at 10 in the morning. Black Sabbath.
Yeah,
they played over in America.
Yeah, Bryan Adams opened it, I think.
Yeah, Black Sabbath.
Or
it's-
Simple Minds.
Yeah.
It was one of the two, yeah.
But imagine that you're having your breakfast and you're washing it down with some metal.
Well, with the American one, Tears for Fears are on the T-shirt, but they never played it.
Really?
Yeah, and I recall remembering reading afterwards that they just didn't do it because they got fed up with all the acts in America arguing about who was going on the
wow.
billing, and they just wanted to play.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
I suppose there's, the British side with Band Aid and this, it was all very good mannered and good natured, and there was a lot of understanding. Whereas it doesn't sound like that was happening over across the sea.
No, because Keith Richards and Bob Dylan both said that when they closed the American set before the finale, they did an acoustic set. They had to stand in front of curtains that were drawn in
Really?
the front of the stage, and they were rehearsing "We Are the World" behind them.
Oh wow!
While they were trying to play. Yeah.
Mad.
Yeah.
They're all very squeezed in. Then wow, that's a logistical challenge.
But
I'd say.
the one ego there wasn't, if I remember with the American one, was Madonna. She got up and played with loads of people. She got up and sung with loads of people.
Yeah.
It didn't make any difference.
No, she
with
just
her.
got involved.
She just got involved. Yeah.
Yeah, and didn't she perform as well with one of the kids that was on the initial broadcasted like appeal from Ethiopia? I think.
I don't remember that, but I'm sure you're right.
Yeah, that was a whole sort of moment, I think, from what I read happened. And initially, talking of collaborations, I read that David Bowie and Mick Jagger had initially planned to perform a duet via satellite, one in each city.
I didn't know that either.
They attempted it, but then the delay was too great between the feeds. So in the end, they ended up recording the video for Dancing in the Street at the London docks prior to the event, and I think they aired that on the event instead.
And Jagger performed with Tina Turner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it'd been crazy if they could have got them both to a duet in different. That'd have been like ridiculous. But yeah, the delay was too great, so they filmed a video over in London docks for Dancing in the Street, which got showed on the event, and it was obviously a great song. The video does look quite rushed, to be fair. It's been commented on in the past.
It was done on Docklands. It was done in Docklands.
London docks, yeah. It's a fun video, but it definitely looks like it's thrown together quickly.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes sense as to why.
But it raised money, you know, as
Yeah.
part of that money, and I think it was the number one single when I'm not sure when Live Aid actually happened.
Yeah.
It was a great idea.
For sure. So, quick bit of trivia, because you know I love a bit of trivia and music.
Go on, George.
Do you know who the first band to actually perform at Wembley Live Aid was? This
Yeah.
might be a bit of a curveball, yeah?
I think
Yeah.
I do.
Oh.
Is it like a royal orchestra? Like a
It's the
marching band?
the
type
band
thing?
of the Coldstream Guards. They
That's the
formed the Royal Salute for Diana and old
Yes.
Charles. And just very rock and roll. The Royal Salute. I guess they couldn't send, could they, like the Queen and some of the older members. They'd had to send the cool members of the royal family to be in attendance. And obviously the world loved Diana back, in the 80s. So,
Well, here's a bit of trivia for you. Who introduced Queen?
who introduced Queen?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Is it comedian, someone left field?
Yeah, it was two comedians, yeah.
Two comedians?
Yeah.
It wasn't like David Baddiel, was it? And the other one?
No, it was a little bit before their
Yeah.
time. It was Gris Reef Jones
Chris Reef
and
Jones.
Mel Smith, and they were dressed up as policemen.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very much of the time, isn't
And
it?
made the gag that they thought it was the Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so like
The
of the
actual
time,
Queen.
that style of
Yeah.
humour. Mad. Like in no other point of time would you get that sort of that pairing. I also read, talking of Queen, apparently they were very sceptical to do the event because they weren't sure of like the scope of the event, of how much reach it was going to have.
Well, they said at the time the problem was that if you look back then, Queen's career, they did really well in the 70s, and in the very, very early 80s they did really well, and then they made I think they made a disco album or something, and it Hot Space, that was it, and it tanked, and they disappeared for a few years, or they weren't. It wasn't going. I think they did an album called The Game as well, which did all right.
Yeah.
But their status was not as huge as what it had been.
Yeah.
So they were waning a little bit, and they were recording Radio Gaga, which they got the Radio Gaga album, The Works. That's right.
Yeah.
Which they got out, and that was a hit. And you're right. I don't think they were sure about doing it. But they realised that if they rehearsed for 2 weeks a full 20-minute set,
Yeah.
they'd absolutely...
It could be incredible.
Yeah. And you've seen in the movie,
Yeah.
the Queen movie in recent years, where
Smashed
they...
it.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
That has become, hasn't it, really? The Queen performance is kind of... When you think of Live Aid, you think about performance more so than anything else.
Well, it was him.
Yeah.
It was him. You know,
That was iconic. The sort of
Yeah.
call and response to the crowd, the way he commanded Georgians, that was like peak 80s kind of rock moment.
He
that
really
was.
worked them.
Yeah.
He really, really did.
And I think that probably did just as much good for the cause of Live Aid, like having that iconic moment, than anything else on the bill potentially, because that really was a moment, I think.
Yeah. It was done. It was done in the best way for its time. When you think the status quo opened up the music,
Yeah.
after the band, the military band, whatever,
Yeah.
doing rocket, John Fogerty's rocking all over the
Yeah.
world. It was the right thing to do, really.
Yeah.
But that in the afternoon, some of the acts were dull. Where the audience that were in the stadium, the 100,000 people, didn't quite latch on.
Connect with, yeah.
Yeah, so I think after Status Quo, I can't remember who was on, and then Adam Ant came on to do one song,
Yeah.
which just you could hear a pin drop. Really, it just didn't. It
Didn't
wasn't-
translate to the stadium.
No,
I know
and-
he was very big, wasn't he, in certain circles, particularly in that sort of new romantic world. But then I don't know if his sound translates to, like, state, because playing a stadium requires a certain kind of sound, right?
Oh no, it was huge in America. It was
Yeah.
it was a big thing to do. But he just did one song, which was his new single. You have to remember that with the cooperation with the record companies,
Yep.
with that, they also saw that as an opportunity.
Yeah.
Because people would buy even more music, which they did afterwards.
Yep.
You know, there was acts on there
Yeah.
that were playing on both sides of the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Where maybe someone. You know, Bryan Adams and Simple Minds opened
Yeah.
the US one. Amazing exposure.
Yeah, no, 100%. You had a lot of young, I think, particularly in the US, because it's a bigger bill. The US, so there was more artists who weren't as established, you know, in between. Whereas I think the UK one was pretty stacked. Like in Philadelphia, like people like Rick Springfield, mixed in like Judas Priest and the Beast Boys and George Thorogood and the Destroyers.
Yeah.
Whereas like over in Wembley, you know, your Status Quo, Style Council will play, you know, like Spandau Ballet, you know, like Sting, Phil Collins. I think because of those less.
So I
people-
mean, the afternoon was very downplayed. Sade was great.
Yeah.
Who was on in the afternoon? She was, and I think that performance is still relevant now when you see it.
Yeah.
She was really, really good, underrated.
Yeah.
But it was odd. There was even people like Brian Ferry with Pink Floyd's David Gilmour.
Yeah.
It didn't go over. It didn't come over well at all.
No.
Paul Young did, and Alison Moyet sang a duet with him. I remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was Paul Young was good.
Yeah.
He was really
Solid.
good.
Yeah, for sure.
He worked the audience. He knew
Yeah.
what to do. And
Yeah.
then there was U2
Yeah.
late in the afternoon.
Bono got in the crowd and danced.
Yeah, it was a bit. It's just personal opinion. It was a bit over the top.
No, I think he saw his moment and he knew to capitalise. All the world's eyes are on him there. How can you make the band look like they're of the people and stuff? And that
Yeah,
was,
and
he
then- and
took his
then-
chance.
Queen came on.
So, do you agree that Queen's performance at Live Aid is the greatest rock performance in history
I think for Queen it is.
for Queen?
You look at all the Bohemian Rhapsody advertisement.
Yeah,
It's all that gig.
that, exactly. That's
It's,
iconic.
it's Freddie Mercury, that pose.
Can you think of another band in time that's played a gig that has become so iconic? I'll put you both on the spot here.
Oh, Jimi
Yeah.
Hendrix at Woodstock.
Hendrix,
Yeah.
that's a great answer, to be
That's
fair.
definitely one.
That is a great answer.
I think there's one or two dotted about.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
That have gone down. Elvis '68.
Six Straight Comeback Special.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of Elvis. I think maybe it's just the iconography, the image of Freddie Mercury in front of it, with a mic stand, just having the crowd in the palm of his hand.
Oh, the opera. This whole opera bit with the crowd. Yeah.
I think that is, in terms of thinking, I bet the Six Straight Comeback Special is a great answer. Hendrix at Woodstock is a great answer as well, to be fair. There's a lot of those dotted about. I think maybe the pairing of Freddie Mercury at that time, the crowd responding the way they did.
Well, nobody expected it.
No.
That was the. I'd seen them live. I knew what he was like.
Yeah.
But I didn't even expect it either. He just knew what to do.
Yeah. He had the crowd in the palm of his hand. He had the moment, and I think I think that really cemented the band's legacy just by that performance. I imagine tickets for their shows, if they weren't already flying out of the hands of the
Well,
touts.
you could only get the tickets via postal order or queuing up at
Yeah,
the
Queuing up
Wembley
to box
Stadium
office,
box
yeah.
office, and that was it.
Old school.
Yeah.
I know we criticise Ticketmaster a lot these days. I'm really glad we've not. I'm grateful we don't have to go and queue up for our tickets either.
I
Cause,
kind of miss it.
but I feel like you'd need to Skype off work a lot. Like, if tickets go on sale on 10 a.m. on a Wednesday, you have to get up, go and pull a sickie from work to go and get in line.
I kind of miss it, you know.
It's definitely
Yeah.
a thing in it from years gone by. There's a lot of nostalgia to it, I
Imagine the
imagine.
excitement of the whole thing,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, you and all the other fans. Whereas I suppose you do get very frustrated on Ticketmaster when you get to the end of the queue and you get like kicked out for no reason because the system's failed
Just
You
ways
could-
around it.
But you
skip
could
the
queue up.
queue
It's the
and all
same thing. You could have queued up for gigs
all day and then you get there.
and you wouldn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
happened to me numerous occasions.
Yeah, that'd be
bit
so
cute,
disappointing, I bet.
But the interesting thing about Live Aid was that I don't think if it would have taken place, I think streaming, the technology of streaming,
Yeah.
would still be a few years behind what it is now.
Yeah.
It's not a case of the technical merit that has gone into streaming, but the speed and necessity,
Yeah.
like what you said at the beginning, on getting it right and putting it together
Yeah.
in that short space of time. It's a little bit like the Apollo 11 going to the moon.
Yeah.
They were in a race to do it, and they did it.
Yeah. Pushed them to
No,
it. Yeah.
they did it, and I think it's the same thing. And what it did was it changed. There had been charity gigs before that. So you had things like George Harrison's concert for Bangladesh, which he filmed and turned into a movie,
Yeah.
which people went to the cinema to go and see. The Who, I remember, did I think concert for Kampuchea
Yes.
with Paul McCartney with his rockestra. I remember that.
Rockestra.
It's on YouTube. Yeah, doing Lucille, the old Little Richard song, with about 8 bass players, 15 guitar players.
Yeah.
It was everyone that played.
Yeah.
But that was like something like Hammersmith. It was much smaller.
And then did he
thing.
play Hey Jude 20 minutes afterwards, like he always does?
He always does that, yeah. And then Live Aid, well, he did that at Live Aid as well, I
Yeah.
think. And then Live Aid came along, and it was a one-off. And you would never have got things like the Freddie Mercury tribute concert would have come from that.
Yeah.
And even concerts now, that because they're not festivals.
No, but there was even a spin-off. I think Bob Geldof in the press conference talked about they should give some of this money to like farmers or whatever.
Oh, well, there was Farm Aid in America.
Yeah, which then came from his offhand
Yeah.
comment was then, well, actually,
It was like Band Aid with
Yeah.
Comet Relief and all the other things.
raising
that
money for
happened.
the farmers to
Yeah.
continue producing crops. So it was
Yeah.
like an offhand comment and then kind of spilled into like an actual event. So the reach and scope of this was obviously incredible, particularly back then when these things just weren't done. Like I said, you had the Elvis comeback special, which was like that was like a multicast. It wasn't in cinemas. It was streamed at the same time to cinemas. But this was like that on steroids because it went 30 military grade satellites around the world.
It was it was like a military operation.
Yeah, 100%.
Like the way that it was put on.
100%.
What was funny was the waiting for the acts to come on. They used because they used to have boxes at Wembley, like they do at football and sporting events
Yeah.
now. So they had this. A lot of the presenters were in one of the boxes, and different people would come in, and they'd be interviewing them. So I remember Ian Astbury from the Cult. There'd be loads of people coming in
Yeah.
that weren't actually performing. So everybody had a go, whatever. But Geldof came in, and he was so passionate, like about it all. And you'll have to bleep this, but he said, if you're going down there, I'm not even going to do the Irish accent. But
Oh, I
what
know
he
what you're
basically said was,
gonna
if you're going down the pub tonight, don't.
Yeah.
Donate the money.
Yeah.
And then there was some expletives.
Yeah,
in
there
that one.
was. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was good. He was really
He's
good.
passionate, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I think it was passionate, and you see how much it meant to him. To be fair, I think for this one night just to raise some money. So I feel like the world needs more of that now. We're all very divided, and there's a lot going on. We need more like unity. I think it was nice that people in their positions of influence use their influence to try and do something.
It's
nice.
different.
Yeah.
It's different. I mean, I think it probably reached its limit with the Freddie Mercury tribute concert
Yeah.
regarding HIV
Yeah.
in '91.
Yeah.
Again, another military operation.
Yeah.
And it was very similar how they did it.
Yeah.
But I can't remember if there wasn't a second. I don't think there was a secondary gig going on, but they did bring Live Aid back for a 20th anniversary
Yes.
at Hyde Park.
Yeah.
Live Aid.
Live 8, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Live 8 listened to some of the criticism. So Live Aid was criticised for supposedly some of the money ended up in warlords' hands, and the way it was distributed, they said, was a bit questionable. Whereas Live 8 had more of a focus on influencing policy in foreign countries as well to make standards of living better across the board rather than just donating. It was more to try and.
Well, this is how the world was changing
Yeah.
because with Live Aid there was very little branding and sponsorship,
Yeah.
which is heavily involved
Yeah.
with global live gigs now.
Yeah.
And when you see Live Aid, there are brands on the sides of the stages and stuff
Yeah,
like
everywhere,
that.
yeah.
It's appeared,
Yeah.
it's there. Plus Nokia
Yeah.
were one of the big sponsors.
Yeah.
And then it really opened up for that 2 years afterwards, which I was involved with, which was Live Earth.
Yeah.
Which was Al Gore's raising awareness for global warming.
Yeah.
At the new Wembley Stadium,
Yeah.
not the old one.
No.
And that was really interesting. Watching
Yeah.
and working on that. We are working with that. That was quite incredible. Was it done probably in a similar way? There was less acts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so everyone got to do like 30 to 40 minutes,
Yeah.
and there was gaps in between. But the live Earth gigs did go off all around the Earth at the same time.
Yeah.
And I believe there was one in America. I can't remember it, but that was the central hub, you know, for all of it.
Yeah.
And that had, it was the Foo Fighters' first stadium gig.
Oh, really?
It was their first ever stadium
What,
gig.
what year was that?
Not bad stadium gig.
That was 2007.
Mad.
And then they never thought they could do a stadium, and they came back to Wembley.
Yeah.
They even say it during the gig, would you like to see us here next
Yeah,
year?
yeah.
And they came back. They weren't headlining, they were about
No.
fourth from top.
Yeah.
Madonna,
Mm-hmm.
if I remember, Madonna, Black Eyed Peas,
Nice.
Duran Duran, Genesis with the two old acts, Kasabian, Metallica,
Oh, wow.
yeah, Metallica,
It's a great lineup.
John Legend. I can't remember if the Pet Shop Boys did it or not, but what I do remember was Spinal Tap did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when they did the song Big Bottoms, everyone came out and played bass.
Yeah, nice.
So had like 30 bass players on stage. You see
Yeah.
it on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
It was great fun.
What a moment, yeah.
It was great fun. And that was probably the last one.
Yeah, it's not really been. Well, there was the One Love concert, wasn't it? It was at Manchester to raise money for the Manchester bombings in 2017.
There was, yeah, there was.
There's
There
been a few
was.
like that spring, but not on the scale of like Live 8 or like Live Earth, you know, like in terms of the scale of like.
No, well, Microsoft, this is a technology. Microsoft were a partner. Microsoft were a partner on that show, and that was streamed out online.
Yeah.
That was streamed out, if I remember rightly. It was a complete operation.
Yeah.
You know how that was
Yeah,
done.
I bet it was. It was an absolute military operation.
But the sound in the stadium that day was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not easy to
it's
do.
been sound designed, you know, the
Yeah.
new Wembley stadiums.
Yeah.
Sound was great.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been to a few concerts there actually. Yeah, it's hard to get a stadium to sound good. So, especially with so many acts that are evolving, whoever engineered that day or was involved in planning must, you know, deserves a medal because.
But if Live Aid hadn't have happened,
Yeah.
none of that
No.
would have, you
Would have
know,
been a thing, yeah.
No, none of that. None of
No.
that. It people sort of try and sort of think, well, it's like a festival or whatever. It wasn't.
No.
It wasn't. It was a one-off.
Yeah.
That may not be repeated. I mean, July the 13th this year, I believe, is going to be on a Sunday. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of gigs going on at Wembley Stadium around
Yeah.
that period.
Well, it's festival season and it's concert season in the
I think
summer.
Oasis doing the gigs around about that period.
Oh, yeah, they are, aren't they?
At
Yeah.
Wembley Stadium,
They
yeah.
got booked out already.
Yeah. So if it's going to be anywhere, it'll probably be Hyde Park, I would think, like Live 8 was.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to our Band-Aid episode. How relevant will it be?
Yeah, and I feel like
The
again.
gig will be relevant,
Yeah.
but the raising money and awareness.
The gig will be awesome, and there'll be lots of, I'm sure, being good acts involved. I don't know how people would respond now to like someone who they know has made a lot of money telling people to donate. Well, I think a lot of the response would be, why aren't you donating some of your millions? And if you know, rather than asking us to, I think people now, with the cost of living crisis, people and what we know now of like these lifestyles of the rich and famous, I think people there's a bit of a disconnect between charity giving and you know the current. So yeah, I mean it would do a lot of good, and I'm sure it would raise a lot of money. I just don't know yet. I don't know if it would be as effective like we talked about before as you know back in the 80s.
What do you reckon, Callum?
No, I don't think so at all. You'd hope it would be, but I just don't see it working. to be
Time's
honest.
moved
yeah,
on.
It's just a bit.
Yeah, different world now.
Everything's a bit. I don't know. Yeah, like there's people nowadays they'll watch people streamers,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll donate if they feel like they like I know that what the streamer does or something like that. Like it feels almost like they get all these hours of content because streamers stream for like maybe 5-6
Yeah,
hours.
it's
Like the
relentless.
really the ones that do it every day, they're streaming for like 5, 6, 7 hours a day. And that's just like it's pretty much constant. Like some people I know they're working, they have like a streamer. If they have 2 monitors or they have like their iPad, they have a streamer on and they're doing all their work. Like, they're getting constantly like entertained. So it seems like the standards for like to then think something's worth paying for, it has to be a lot more. Like there has to be more of it, I guess. I think that's like that's how it's coming across. I think nowadays, like people want more, but pay less. Almost one thing.
No, it's fair. But people want like amazing quality, don't they? They expect the quality to be amazing anyway, and they're kind of so used to getting what they want immediately, I suppose.
Yeah.
Are they going to be entertained now by like a 3 or 4 hour concert, or are they just going to go to the people they love? Like, are they going to go to their platforms anyway and watch them there rather than sitting through a whole concert of a mix of people? Because times it's interesting that times and with branding as well, like the ethics of it. Like you've got like McDonald's are like chief sponsor of the World Cup. Like how does that make sense?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, the both of you are absolutely spot on, because the problem would be now is if an act or an artist or a band or whatever has signed, there's so many lawyers now involved
Yeah.
that I don't think would be cooperative to waiver anything.
Yeah. Any fees and stuff.
So,
yeah.
and that's talking about corporate as well. So if a certain artist had a branding deal with somebody, they'd have to wear certain clothes, they'd have to do this, or they'd have to have a banner up or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You'd have another act where the lawyer or the management or even the record company could turn around and sort of say, well, we're not, we can't be associated with that.
Yeah.
If you look at branding and sponsorship, probably the most unique deal that was ever done, and it's like Live Aid. It was a one-off. Was the Black Eyed Peas tour of the States?
Yeah.
They were labelled as the most corporate band in America.
Yeah.
And they did this huge stadium tour in the States, and they managed to get Apple and Samsung as brands on the same tour.
Both the opposing brands.
And they both hate each other.
Yeah.
It's the wrong word, but they're always
but they're like cheap.
they're
right?
always against each other.
Competitive.
Yeah. They managed to do it. So it could be done.
Yeah.
I think it was Will I Am was involved with all of that.
Yeah.
It could actually be done.
Yeah.
It is achievable, but I think it's the time restraint as well of if you was going to put the whole thing together and you've got 7 months to do it in,
Yeah.
or 6 months to do it in, there's a lot more work now involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, paperwork.
The logistics of it would just
Yeah.
become like its own sort of thing. Yeah.
That's enough. That puts you off doing it itself. Just
I think
all these
so.
Legal barriers you have to go around.
Yeah.
And with a lot of artists, that even big artists that don't know much money out of streaming, they have to rely on branding and sponsorship and merchandising.
Yeah.
That's all going to be taken away because it's
Yeah.
all the merchandising is going to be Band-Aid and
Yeah.
Live Aid.
Yeah, but they're not going to get there.
Yeah.
And also balancing the egos, and there's a lot of people that are going to think they should be headliner. So would people
That
do
may have
it
changed.
if they
Yeah,
can't-
that may
if they
have
can't-
changed as well.
If you can't promise them like top spot, are they going to want to do it to be seen as inferior to someone else?
Yeah, that may have changed now. Acts may think differently. I mean, I would like to think that a lot of the acts would be humble. So we'll
like
play
Prince,
any
though,
time.
Ideal situation.
Yeah,
that.
yeah. We're doing everything for a good cause.
Yeah.
But I think it's the machinery that is in place behind it.
Yeah.
And there's probably less people now involved as well
Yeah.
than what there was. But I just think that I think Live Aid. I think the music companies saw it as a vehicle to basically sell music afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think there was a bit of a there's a bit of an undertone there for something, for ulterior motives rather than being purely.
But who knows?
Yeah.
We're sitting talking here.
Yeah.
When this is this is put out online.
Yeah.
It may
might
well have been
announce
announced,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll do another one.
Yeah.
We'll do another episode about it.
Yeah, for sure. I think then going back to like Live Aid itself, there was a lot of rumours. Like we said, we had the Led Zeppelin kind of reunion. Phil Collins. There was
the
a lot,
Beatles.
There was a lot of rumours that the Beatles were gonna
Without John Lennon.
Yeah, there was a lot of
Yeah.
rumours about the Beatles reforming, but then George Harrison said something along the lines of, Paul McCartney didn't want me singing on Let It Be like 10 years ago or 20 years ago. Why is he going to want me singing on it now? So he shut that down pretty quickly. So that was a big rumour like swirling around at the time, and it would have been incredible.
Well, he would have had a chance at the original gig because Paul McCartney's microphone went down.
Yeah, even if they
it went.
needed him.
Yeah. No, it went down live, I think.
Yeah.
It went, yeah.
Yeah. No, Paul, I'm not going to
When
sing
he
Hey
did that
Jude
song,
again.
yeah.
No, but saying about you never know, they might do something next year. Wembley is not booked up for the 13th of July.
Is it not?
Not yet.
No, Oasis are around it, but they're quite. Oh, I say that they start on the 25th of July, so.
Ooh, so there's
They're
a good
quite-
2 weeks. Well,
yeah,
just
it's a
under,
good-
just under.
And it's on a Sunday.
Then before the first, in between the first Oasis gig, the next, like the last gig before, like, that leaves a gap. Is the 4th of July. It's Lana Del Rey's playing there. Then
So-
there's just a giant gap.
There's
so-
still a gap there then, yeah.
So there
And
might
ha-
be something going on. but
And
we
have the
don't know.
BBC got the money?
Very valid as
Because
well.
they put so much money into music. Have they got the budget, to do that? Because that would probably come out of the news budget as well.
Yeah.
If they're going to film that and
Yeah.
broadcast that.
That would come out of everything, surely. That'd be such a massive event.
It could come out of Gary Lineker's wage.
Well, he won't be there.
Yeah, no,
he won't be there anymore.
No.
Yeah.
But no, so obviously, yeah, it was obviously a momentous event between the rumours and how it actually went down. I think, yeah, how would it go? Could it be replicated? Would it be successful? Who knows?
I think it would be fantastic if they did it.
Yeah.
If they did it, I think it would be. I think it would be great. I really do.
Yeah, but then having everybody join at the end of the end for the chorus on live, they did. Everyone came out and sung "Duvet Night's Christmas," didn't they? The last chorus at least. They did a big end chorus. Could you imagine it now of all these megastars coming together and singing like some sort of unison song?
Well,
No.
Yeah.
well, but looking on the other side of it, there was the free Nelson Mandela concert,
Yeah.
which was at Wembley Stadium, which sold out.
Yeah.
He was free 2 years after that. It was 1989.
Yeah.
The free Nelson Mandela. It was a lot more eclectic, but it sold out and it was broadcast live and again it was streamed out.
Yeah.
Around the world. Apparently he saw it in prison. I don't know how true that is or whatever, but it was a really brilliant idea. So Live Aid really opened that up.
Yeah. Opened the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my heart says it would be absolutely great and fantastic if that, if it was done. In reality, there's a lot more obstacles now for that team to go forward
Yeah.
and deliver.
Yeah,
on it.
yeah. No,
And get the cooperation
Yeah.
of because all sorts of things have changed. Managers, the way managers are around now, and the way record companies have contracts, they have a lot more control over acts and artists.
Yeah.
They just don't earn money out of sales; they earn money out of all sorts of things. It's very, very different.
Mm-hmm.
The environment is very, very different.
Yeah, for sure. I think that the whole landscape now is just how many cooks are there in the kitchen involved? Writing one song, let alone publicising someone and managing someone, and then
Two of the major record companies have shareholders.
yeah,
So when they say, how much money, dividends-wise, or what we're going to earn
Yeah.
at the end of the year, well, we're doing this huge concert, yeah, but how
much
do you know?
are we
you're
gonna earn it,
yeah, what's going to be the outcome of selling music after it?
yeah. How many T-shirts can we flog at this event? Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's how it's changed.
yeah,
That's how it's changed. It's become very, very corporate. Will Live Nation want to do it instead of Harvey Goldsmith?
yeah.
Demand? No, not want to do it. Demand that they do it.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, they've already got the market share of this stuff and make loads of money, but yeah,
They weren't doing anything. Then
yeah.
that kind of thing wasn't around.
No, whereas now the politics of it was so different.
Yeah, even in America, it was very different.
Yeah,
Very, very different. So it's a whole different operation now. There's a lot of work involved.
yeah.
Well, there was a lot of work then. Of course,
It was
there
loads back then. Yeah,
But the innovation of it will actually not come from who's actually performing and who's going to be really good on the day.
Yep.
But it's actually going to, the innovation is sorting the whole business side of it out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to it.
No fun.
Well, I think we're going to find out one way or another. I guess for later on in the year when this is released. I think that feels like a good place to wrap things. We hit our mark. Let's end on a lighter note. A little bit of trivia. It's that time of day again. Everybody remembers who's on first. Everybody remembers who's on last. Do you remember who's on second
What a live
on the
aid.
bill? Yeah, from the Wembley side.
Yes.
Hit me.
I'll guess.
Have a guess.
Nick Kershaw.
No.
Oh,
Good guess though. He was.
I know who it is. It's gone blank.
I think Nick Kershaw was 8th on the bill for context.
Okay.
Time's ticking, Callum.
There's another. I can't think of the name. I've gone blank.
Shout it from the top, Callum.
I knew it. Like earlier on, I was thinking about them.
Shout it from the top. It was Style Council.
Yep, that's the
Were
one.
they on second, were they?
Second, right? Yeah.
God, they should have been on later in the afternoon.
And I think Adamant joined
Adamant
the
was
last
fourth.
of one of them songs.
Yeah, Adamant was full
Oh, no.
after Boomtown Rats.
Yeah, Adamant joined. Did he join Boomtown Rats for a song and then done one song?
Now, just to close it before we announce what we're going to do on part 2 of this, there were some acts that weren't invited or didn't play a Live Aid and weren't on the record either, on the Band Aid record either. One could have been like Queen and they could have reformed and should have been asked,
Yeah.
and that was Thin Lizzy.
Thin Lizzy.
They would have done. They would have done what Queen would have done.
Yeah.
In fact, they would have taken it. He would have taken that even further.
You think?
Yeah,
That was a big statement.
He was a brilliant frontman. He was totally and utterly brilliant. Never asked.
No.
No.
And why? Can we speculate on why you think that was?
Oh, there's a bit of politics there, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying nothing.
Usually,
Not saying
Yeah.
nothing. Well,
Yeah.
It's never that easy, is it? There's always something.
there's always something. Well, I guess on that note, we should wrap things up.
We should, but those of you that remember it, I've seen the DVD. We'll put the cover up for you. It's still, I think it's still available. If they would have played just 20 minutes,
I'll be on the Reddit.
they would have, on Reddit, you know, some comments on that would be great. But they were overlooked. They weren't together at the time, but they would have, like everybody else, they would have got back together for it.
Okay. Bold.
Yeah.
Big statement.
And neither were Bon Jovi in America.
Springsteen wasn't on either, was he?
No, he wasn't. He was on the record. He didn't do it either, and that's right.
Omissions. All these omissions.
Yeah.
Because the American side obviously didn't have enough acts, did they, with how many they had on stage. But Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen would have, that would have been, that is a massive, you know. Duran Duran played in America, but Bruce Springsteen didn't. What is going on there?
I had no idea. I
Well-
was going for the red.
Yeah. Well,
But what we'll do is I've still got the T-shirt. I've still got it, so we'll put that up onto Instagram. And on the back of the T-shirt, it's got both lineups.
Yeah.
Although, interestingly, to close it, on the American one, it does say Tears for Fears.
oh, yes.
Yeah.
But then he pulled out last minute.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Wow. Tears for Fears.
Who
Not
were
a dry eye in the house.
huge in America. They've become huge.
Yeah. Crazy. Everybody wants to rule the world, and that's why they pulled out. Well, on that note, it's been emotional, guys.
It has. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and our Reddit page as well.
Yeah. We'll chat to you there.
Yeah.
Bye.
Take care.
Goodbye.